You are welcome. I want to make this urgent address today, the 25th day of July 2017, to a state in the Union, Edo State, on the matters regarding the intent sales of governmental properties. Well, it is my uppermost honor to congratulate you and to formally welcome you on board this vehicle. The present and the newly confirmed governor of Edo State, as confirmed and legitimized by the Abuja Supreme Court on the 10th day of July 2017, is no other than His Excellency Godwin Obaseki, the governor of Edo State. Your Excellency, sir, you are welcome. And with all due respect, sir, please allow me once again to say you are most highly welcome on board. Although, if I may say, it took you a while with the criminal charges brought against you and your team in respect to the legitimacy of your victory on the concluded governorship election of Edo State on the 28th day of September 2016 by the ex-gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the person of Pastor Osage Ize-Iyamu. But now that the coast has been cleared and you have been confirmed the new conductor of our vehicle as agreed upon by your counterpart and the opposition parties of the state, I want you to know and understand that we, the people, the occupants of this vehicle, assigned to you to be in charge of the control as the favorite conductor with 4-0 defeat over your counterpart, we would like to say a big congratulations on the victory. As you are aware, we have been sitting down patiently, looking forward and not backwards, and hoping for a beautiful and a safe ride to and up as we go on these our hopeful journeys of life. What we expect of you is a wonderful ride. And please do not take us for a ride. Take us on a ride. For that is what we expect of you. As you were the last man to come on board this vehicle, please allow me these few minutes to properly and formally introduce to you my honorable self and all the entire families on board this vehicle. Although you had wasted our time, but we are patient as we also understood your battles. So we forgive you. I am Mr. Bright Owen Osage, an aspirant for the next governorship election in Edo State. As I have made this known to the public by my declaration note of the 16th of July 2017. And please allow me to introduce my people on board to you. Look at that man to your right. He is a Benin man. He is here with his wives and he is here with his children. And the other man beside him is an Asa man. He's also here with his wives and his children. As you can see, these two men over there talking and dressed in fine robes. They are both Afemites and Isako. Both are here with their wives and children too. And look at this man and this man and this man. They are Akoko Edo, Owan, and Ijo, and they are here too with their wives and children respectively. Come look far deep inside this vehicle. You will see and you will realize there are a lot of people here, most of whom are children and women. They need urgent attentions now. Some are hungry, some are in need of medical attention, and they all need to acquire education. Look at those 5 women sitting on a row on the 7th row. They are all adult women, and they are all here with their husbands and children respectively. This one, she's married to that Hausa man at the back. This one, she's married to that Igbo man discussing business at the back. And that one, she's married to the Yoruba man. Sir, can you hear him say, he's calling you Omobende. Our course is beyond this we have been given. And you see that lady that is light in complexion. She is married to that guy. That one that look like an Oyinbo. And can you see the last one there sitting close to the door? You can see she is very calm. She's married to that American doctor. So she feels okay. But all the same, it is well. What else can I say? So what do you see, my governor? I can guess your heart is telling you now, be careful. Just be careful. We are all different in culture. We are all different in beliefs, tribes and local dialects, and even to the colors of our skin. But we are all gathered in this vehicle under one roof, with one motive and one strength and one hope to have a safe and a great ride. We hope you have not sold our spare tires while we were sitting down here and looking forward with hope of a great ride. And we hope you have not jacked us up from the back and removed the back tires of our vehicle. And you are coming to face us like you are taking us on a beautiful ride. We just hope you did not commit any crime of such, as you were already battling with a criminal case in the court levied against you. But if I may ask, are you really sure you are not a criminal? I heard all previous drivers are rogues and criminals. I'll tell you this, they are going to pay. They must all pay for all their evil acts. And so that brings us to the topic of today, the intensities of the Edo State governmental property. I would like us to tread on this matter very, very carefully. And please, my governor, I would adhere you to listen and listen to me very carefully, as this myself as an evidence against you and your government in regards to any intensities or acquisitions of governmental properties by individual under your tenureship. The legislation has allowed us to make laws and consider them collectively. the civil laws and the criminal laws. And laws, they say, are there to ensure that citizens abide by certain rules that are made to keep us all safe. And laws tells us what we are and are not allowed to do, and allow us to be punished if we breach those laws. And to be kept safe from our own understanding is to be sure there will be a better tomorrow. Of what use is being safe today when there is no tomorrow? The laws has given you and me mandatory to have a legal duty to do what we can to keep everyone safe. Just yesterday, a chilling wave ran through me. It was the one of mixed feelings. Quickly, it had developed into a cold feet. My heart was beating 2 times faster than the usual count, and my head was becoming heavier, which already it was heavy, as you can see. These are the moments you hear voices. Yes, voices in your head that says to you, just run, run, and run. Run for cover, even when there is no one chasing you. And yet you are afraid. But again, from deep inside, you can hear the other voice. The tiny, stable voice that says, must we always run? Must we always run? The clock is ticking, and the time is running out. The last assigned ship is coming. Generations of people and race could be saved now, or they could as well willingly and disobediently stay behind to see the water grow from beneath their feet. And some will foolishly endure with their children on top of their shoulders as the water level rises to their waist. But foolish you and your children will be the first to die when the fatigue comes crawling in. Children, young men and young women, mostly of the black race. I really have to be specific now. Disentangle yourselves now from your evil parents. They are evil, can't you see? How he pretends he is stealing and doing all manners of evils because of you and his unborn generation. I will tell you what he knows and I've refused to let you know. He knows you and his unborn generations are coming with him to hell. For no man can steal to save for an unborn generation. But you can save for an unborn generation if you walk in a faithful way. And wives of evil men, see how you rejoice with him now, knowing days of doom is just by the corner. Make a change. Turn his ways for good. If he refuses, turn and look away from his evil way and say, my children and I do not partake in evil. For the days of evil will surely visit his followers. It will surely visit the house of his followers. Disentangle yourselves from evildoers, young people, and let us build a bridge, build a resistible ladder, and form a very strong cord that can never be broken, so that we would be rest assured that when the last ship comes sailing in, we are surely in. Let us take the next exit out of this ungodly road. Let us connect with the highways of equity and justice. Let us say no to corruption. Let us say big no to the killings of this corrupt mind. Let us close the doors to corruption in our land. Until the last of his agent is consumed by the rising water, let us not cease in doing good. Always remember the Noah story for this resistance. And always remember Father Abraham for this disengagement from these people whose wishes are continuously evil. And to you, the business mogul, I believe you should know and have wisdom more than I am when it comes to business and transactions of great magnitude. Because I believe you should know when you are investing in a risk-taking investment and when you are investing in a risk-free investment. I remember in my junior school days, I did study commerce for a while. And in commerce then, I was told by definition that insurance is a pool of risk. A risk pool is one of the forms of risk management mostly practiced by insurance companies. So today I say to all the parties involved in the sales and in the intent acquisitions or premeditating ownership to any of those state governmental properties, in form of structural properties, landed properties, vehicle, most especially the bulletproof vehicles in and outside the territory of Edo State, but that are belonging to the Edo State government. You should be aware that in doing so, this individual or group of companies are doing so at their own risk, and they shall be engaged accordingly with the laws of our land and the laws that we serve. And those state governmental properties are not for sale. Whether it is the political government agencies that are trying to dish out the property or a funny individual, it does not matter. No Edo State government property are on sale. It does not matter whether the dishing out has been intended some 30 years ago or whether it is just yesterday. I repeat, no Edo State governmental properties are for sale. Any related document given or issued out in respect to these matters as above mentioned in form of proof or ownership claim to same mentioned above to an intent buyer or a premeditated possessor of any Edo State government assets are in reality proof of insurance risk. Therefore, whatever document given to you as insurance for the intent purchase is a scam, and you are advised forthwith. If by misfortune we intend to put any of those state governmental properties for sale, it shall be brought out to the notice of everyone, and to all Edo State indigents, home and abroad. They will be the first to bid in the auction market. And if it ever happens that by misfortune they are unable to acquire and possess this property, it shall be given to a foreign investor as a second choice. For a much higher demand, Oh, for a great demand. And if by another misfortune we are unable to get a good deal, then we bring it back home again to the people with a much lower price from the first bid. And if by unfortunate reason we cannot get a good deal for it, then we shall take the offer to the next and the last stage, which now include the other Nigerians, the non-indigenes of Edo State, for another higher price, but this time not like the price for the foreign investors from outside Nigeria. So you can see that in reality, it is a very long process and so time consuming that it could even take more than a whole full tenure of any government to sell one governmental property. So I kindly say to any intent persons or group of companies to beware. I tell you again, beware. Please beware of scams. They are just everywhere. A process that is unduly exercised in its own right is illegal. And document giving, presented, or undertaking cannot be used as a legal binding or a tender for the acquisitions of the intended end product. So I am making this call to all of you and to any individual or parties or group of people that are appeasing themselves with this nefarious act to please disentangle yourselves from such act now, before it will drag you into the pit with bars. The name Nigeria is almost synonymous to, and it is always underlined in the list of countries' names when using adverbial phrases in English language for words like corruption, corruption high, menu of corruption, corrupt people, very corrupt evil men. And once upon a time, this name was tagged with 419. Although I still do not understand what it means. And sincerely, I really don't care now. But I do remember when I was still a young boy, a brother in the name of Felix Liberty sang a song, and he had titled that song 419. I believe it is from the rhythm of that song 419 was extracted. Or is it from International Thief Thief? Like Fela Anikulapo Kuti said, Abiola, oh God, may he rot in hell. If you are buying any Edo State governmental property or you are an intended new possessor or premeditating ownership of any Edo State governmental property, please proceed now with urgent effect to publish what you are buying or what you thought you have premeditatedly owned. And as such, you shall be rest assured you have not been scammed. Nothing has been put to the stage or brought forward to the people in regards to the sales of governmental property in the past 30 years. Imagine this. No governmental structure or governmental property has been transferred or disposed since the year 1987. So be warned. A lady of thought in the name of Iyenobudi had reminded me of a Benin adage. I remember my great-grandma, late Madam Izingbe Omorochonwa, ní Idehen from Abapava, a daughter from the household of the Enoge of Uha. She used to say same to My grandma, late Madam Eimema, she was one among the various wives of late Chief Obazwaye of Benin. No, Obazwa. She was among late Madam Ehimema. She was one among the various wives of the late Chief Obazwa of Benin, Pa Omorege Iyamu, alias the Akpoloyowa of Benin. He was the first Benin man to get a junior Cambridge certificate. She used to say same too, and my mother used to say the same adage most often at times. He who sways his nose in the dark at his neighbor only deceives himself. Do not go echoing in the dark with men that are very, very deceitful. They live without their conscience because they have sold their conscience in the evil market of sin. And they do not want to accept a replacement from a donor who has developed from 1 to 2 and are willing to give up one for their sake. Yet they do not want. My heart was dismayed some few weeks ago when I had saw this article flying around on the internet. And I quote, I am the governor of Edo State. I am entitled to a brand new bulletproof car, but I have not bought it because we cannot afford it. Quote close, Governor Godwin Obaseki. What a foolish thought, I said to myself. No, my able governor cannot be so dumb to me what I had just read. What happens to the bulletproof cars the ex-governor Lucky Onosakare Igbilejo used at the governor's house? What happened to the bulletproof cars the ex-governor Adams Oshomole used at the governor's house? But quickly, it had awoken my number 6. Then I knew it was just cracking jokes, as I believe the ones used by the previous administrations were at his disposal in the governor's house. Government properties cannot be converted into individuals or personal assets. It is against the laws of the nation and against the state laws. And the most striking of all, it is against the office of the governor of the state. A highly rated rank in upholding the law. A democratically elected governor is under the oath to uphold the trust bestowed. Then I said, it just got me. My able governor just got me. I never knew he was also a member of a crack your ribs team. It is really funny. My governor, I must admit, I did enjoy the article. I really do like those variety shows from Sir Brad, the basket mat. He cracked my ribs too sometimes. I like cracking my own jokes too. Just that sometimes it could be really horrible to crack a joke and you are the only one laughing. I could piss in my pants, I tell you. But nevertheless, I will like to crack this one. And I hope it makes you smile. Same way on your photo shot on the article. My governor, the Hausa goat from the north, does not need a bulletproof lorry to get to the south. They can manage. I tell you, they can manage. and to all the investors in the state and the intent investors, I would like to use this medium to persuade you and to encourage you to feel free and be glad of this choice you have made. Edo State will be your promised land. This I can guarantee you. Edo State will be the land you dreamt of. We are still very humble and most welcoming people in the whole wide world. Mostly when it comes to making you, the investors and the visitors, feel at home. Pull down your investment, lay down your investment in the land of Edo State. It is the soul of the world. Draw your scale from 100 years and above, and you shall not regret it. Pull down your investment in Edo State. Lay it down anywhere within the territory. For when you are gone, your children will surely inherit your hard work, without no one raising an eyebrow or making any noise. But be careful not to fall a victim to serious scams. Stay clear from any government-owned property. None is for sale. And please obey the laws of the land. It is very important. These properties listed below are not for sale and will not be for sale. The Edo State Palace of the Omonoba Nedo of the Benin Kingdom is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Governor's House is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Airport is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State House of Assembly is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Urokpota Hall, the King Square, the Oba Market, and its environs is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State universities and all other higher institutes and lower institutes up to the kindergartens is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Teaching Hospitals and Central Hospital and every other health centers located within the territory of the state is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Government Land Transport Service with all its structures and vehicles alongside its garages acquired in various states of the Federation of Nigeria is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Trade Fair Ground, all the local markets and its landmarks is not and will never be for sale. The Edo State Game Reserve, the zoo, is not and will never be for sale. And all other Edo State governmental properties, landed and otherwise, is not and will never be for sale. Do not trample on my words, lest ye shall fall. And to my Edo people, I would say, be calm. Everyone should go about their normal businesses as usual. And desist yourselves from evil messages and talks that bring worries to the heart and kills the head. Make sure you pass this message to one another. It is very important. Make it a constant reminder that it is your undivided right to save our land. Pass it to any investors or intended buyer of any governmental property. Tell them Edo State is open for investment, but our governmental properties are not for sale, and that they should desist from any such act, that it is a scam. Take your children to school every day, no matter how difficult it seems. We do same here. We pass through more difficult times with taking care of our children, as you already know, in a foreign land to home in Africa. Here, we would be summoned by the police if they find out our children did not attend school in 2 days, without any concrete reasons to do so. And in some hard cases, some people lose custody of their very own children. So I encourage you today to encourage yourselves and your children. Take the children to school. Get yourself up and take the children to school. And neighbors, I mean you, neighbor, with mobility for your child or children, please help your next neighbor that is finding it a little stressful to take our children or a child to school. Just help lift the children to school, but not the adults, for they can manage. Help us take our children to school. It is most important now that they all must acquire education. Segregation starts from when we begin to separate and disintegrate from a common moment that brings us all together. Give the neighbor with the stressful issue the conditions of attendance to help lead the child or children to school, and that condition must be complied with. But let it not be monetary conditions or sexual exploitation. What I ask of you, my humble people, is a little favor for a vulnerable neighbor with no harmful intentions. Help us take the children to school. It does not matter now whether we are small or we are big. It does not matter now if we are eating big this morning or have had a little. But at least let the children have something before they leave. Ride him to school if you have got a car, or walk him to school if you have no car. And be sure he is at a safe circle within the school monitor or anyone in charge before you go. For it does not matter much now whether we get a first grade or we go with the lower, whether we are fast learner or slow learner. What matters now, my people, is that we must get education. Help get education for the Edo State children. It should not matter now whether we are rich or whether we are poor. It should not matter now whether the school we go is 1 million naira a term or whether the school we go is a 0 naira a term. Just get education for the Edo State children. We must stand to uphold this union and this land that was created by our forefathers long time ago. A land they are secured as an inheritance for their 4 children, that even when we were yet unborn, we had owned this land. We own this land long before the Portuguese came to Africa. We own this land long before the British did the amalgamation. And definitely we own this land much more longer before the Cabal was born. Our forefathers had created this union of people with a great understanding of peace, harmony, mutual respect, fair play, equity, justice, and justice. Knowing then that divided we shall surely fall, but united we would stand, and united we become bigger. Do not stand apart and say, my father is from Ghana and my mother is Edo, and I do not have anything to lose. Do not stand apart and say, my mother is an American, although my father is Nigerian and from Edo. Well, I'm okay, and I've got nothing to lose. Do not stand apart and say, when we Nigeria be free of corruption, when will Edo State be free of this menace that has brought our face down to the dust of the earth? Well, it's their problem to solve and not mine. I am okay. I am doing just fine with my degree in the Gulf Coast of Dubai. Do not stand apart and say, I am in the land of the free. I am in the land where justice and fair play abide, and I have become a national too, and I have got nothing to lose. Do not stand apart and say, my father was a very corrupt politician, a corrupt leader, and these people might come after me, so let me run away, or let me try to frustrate their every move. But I call on you today as my brother. We still love you, and you are still one of this brotherhood. Please, my advice is, do not stand on the way of justice, for it will surely crush you. But come to us. We have got so many rooms for amendments. Do not stand apart and say, they will not allow me do what is right. Do not stand apart from your right senses. And do not stand apart from the truth. I believe in you. I believe in your right conscience. And most of all, I believe in the Almighty God to be your next governor of Edo State. Thank you. And may the good Lord bless you all.